evening, and welcome back to the Cosmopolitan Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host for this evening. My name is Eva Kennedy, and sitting beside me is Dr. Cuttie Bacon. Before we get started, and I have Dr. Bacon talk a little bit about his experience, first and foremost, I just want to welcome you back. Last week we came back and we introduced ourselves, Rhonda and I, but she's not here this evening. But we introduced and explained to you that we will be on for the next 13 weeks. Yeah. So for all of you new viewers, thank you for joining us tonight. And for the viewers that's been around, thank you for coming back. Just a little bit about the Cosmopolitan Chamber of Commerce before we get started. It is the oldest African American Chamber of Commerce. The education programs offered by the Chamber have helped many African Americans start and grow businesses in Chicago. And it's really focusing on business building business. And that's why I'm so excited to have my dear friend here tonight with me, Dr. Cuttie Bacon. Dr. Cuttie Bacon has been around and have lots of experiences in entrepreneurship and businesses, and he agreed to be with us tonight to share some of his experiences with us. So, Cuttie Bacon, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be with you tonight. As you said, I've been around a while, a little past 75 years old, has allowed me to be in a number of businesses. Many of those businesses were highly successful and many of those failed. So I learned both from having successful experiences in business and having unsuccessful experiences. And my kickoff to get started in business, of course, was a bachelor's degree in business and accounting that gave me some foundation for understanding the theory of businesses and how to go through it. But my practical experiences gave me an education that's invaluable, and I truly am happy that you invited me tonight because I do like to share those successes and those failures to help other young business people not go over the problems and make the mistakes that I made in business.
Right. Well, thank you so much, and I know you've been a mentor for me, and whenever I have questions or anything that I need some explanation and anything that I need in terms of helping me further define my business and moving forward, I always come to you for help. So I appreciate it.
I'm always happy to be there.
Yeah. So why don't you just get started? Why don't we get started? Why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we can start talking about some of your business experiences.
Yes, my formal education is a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD degree. My PhD is from Northwestern University. I was trained as a school superintendent, and that was my career for more than 30 years. After retiring from school administration, of course, I went in business. I owned Pop's Fried Chicken, a fast food business on 1215 East 87th Street for more than 10 years. That was my first major experience in Chicago in the food business and restaurant carry-out business. That was a business that did a little more than $1 million gross a year, and it was a huge education for me. I was able to provide a number of jobs for young people on the south side of Chicago and to make a fine living out of the business myself. So my foundation being in fast foods in Chicago, but while I was in college, I was in sales and got into menswear, so that led me to a personal shopping business for a small business called the Cuttie's Closet. That business was a business that I represented about 150 men, did personal shopping for them, wardrobe advisement, and techniques on how to dress for success. A successful business that I sold a few years ago. And my third business has been a yacht chartering business, 31st Street Harbor in Chicago, where I owned for many years 2 large yachts and did cruises and parties on yachts in Chicago. So that's basically a briefing of 3 of the 6 or 7 businesses I've owned and ran myself, being president and CEO of all of them. And all of those businesses being single ownership proprietary businesses.
Wow, we are so grateful and so thankful to have you here with us tonight to share your experience with us. So I know the viewers will get so much from this. So tell us a little bit about what you've learned, in terms of your experience and ownership of your businesses. What can you share with our viewers tonight?
Well, number one, the most important lesson I learned as to how a business succeeds or fails is selling. And when I talk to young business owners, the first thing I say to them is, how do you intend to sell the product? How do you intend to make your business successful? Most young business owners starting out will tell me numerous things about their marketing strategy, their online business, their own technological knowledge, what they know about their product, but most of them cannot give me a good, strong plan for selling. And by the way, most people in business do not like to sell. There is something about selling that many, many people find below them. And as I talk to young business people starting out in business, I tell them there is not one successful business in the United States or in the world that's making a lot of money that's not selling a lot of product. Businesses that fail, the number one reason that businesses fail is they don't have enough sales. Once you master a sales plan and a team to sell your product, even with a bad product or a bad business, you can make money. It's often said when Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, first started out, people laughed at his hamburger. It's still not a great tasting burger, in my opinion, today. But he started out in the 50s, and his number one goal was to sell 1 billion burgers.
Wow.
He made that long before he died.
Wow.
And all of his energy went into selling 1 billion burgers, and he would tell you in private, he did not care how the burger tasted as long as he was able to sell 1 billion burgers. Mind you, a burger, even at $1, when you sell 1 billion, that is $1 billion, and that is $1,000 million. So always, if you don't remember anything I said tonight, remember the success of your business is going to be how well you can sell your product. Whether it's food, whether it's clothing, whether it's a service product, no matter what it is, your business will not succeed unless you can sell your product. And if you're going to make money, a lot of your product. So number one, your number one energy should be put into figuring out and designing a plan for selling your product so you can be successful.
Wow. You know, as you were talking, I was thinking about my own business because I'm an entrepreneur, as you know, also. Mm-hmm. And that piece right there alone has been my biggest challenge, in terms of putting the marketing plan together and all of that, and even the business plan, but getting out and actually selling the product. What do you think that's going on with individuals and entrepreneurs that prevent them from getting out in the forefront and really coming up with a good selling plan?
Well, number one, most new business people have not realized the significance of having a good sales plan. They do not realize that the foundation of all the money they're going to take in, nor do they understand selling. Now, most practical salespeople who have sold millions and millions of dollars worth of products will tell you, number one, selling starts with you. No matter how good or bad your product is, people that you sell to are first going to buy you. What do I mean by you? When I say by you, that means how well you present yourself. The expert guys in sales say, number one, if you're going to be an outstanding salesperson, the first thing you got to do is look good. I never try to sell unless I look at least as good as I do now or better. That means I look better than my best. Better than my best means I put on the best suit, the best tie, the best shirt, the best pair of pants, the best pair of glasses I own. I have a look of success. People do not want to buy anything from unsuccessful looking salespeople. They do not care what you're selling. People like to be associated with success. Success comes first with what they see with their eyes. People make a decision about you based on your appearances before you open your mouth. I have a habit of wearing raggedy blue jeans. I love raggedy jeans, designers at that. I never try to sell anything in raggedy jeans, even if I have on $500 shoes and a $1,000 sport coat and a custom-made shirt. I do not sell in raggedy jeans. The first sight people see is rags. Do you know anybody that wants to associate with a raggedy man or woman? So I put on my custom tailored suit. If I don't have a custom tailored suit, I put on the very best I have. The first thing, I have to look good. Secondly, you need to know your product better than anybody in the world knows it, and you need to believe in it. The easiest way to sell is to have a product that you know from A to Z about, and that you're proud of the product, and it shows in your face. I have tried to sell stuff that I really didn't care for, and I was a failure. You can see it in a salesman's face. You can hear it in his voice. If he's enthusiastic about the product, if he knows the product, if he loves the product, you can sell it. Thirdly, if you're going to be a highly successful person, you have to, as a friend of mine told me, you have to feel successful. I always recommend to new salespeople when they go out to sell to put $200 or $300 in the pocket. There's a feeling you have when you have money in your pocket. Larry Winget, you probably heard of him, he gives many seminars across the country. He says put $200 or $300 bills first, your 50s and 20s behind there, and put your hand on them when you're talking to people. When you are talking to people and you are not broke, and it doesn't really matter if you don't make the sale or not, you feel better yourself. When you don't show that you in dire need of the next dollar, that you have dollars in your pocket, and he says that it helps you. I know in my experiences, it has helped me. I listened to him tell me that about 20 years ago. And anytime I approach the sale that I know I'm going to be selling, I always put $200 to $300 to $400 bills in my pocket. And as I'm talking to a client, I always grip them in one hand in my pocket to say to myself, I am not desperate.
Right, right.
The other thing is, if you're going to sell, you need to find a need. And you need to feel that you're fulfilling a need and a want, no matter what you're selling. For example, if you're selling clothing, a shirt, and you look at a man and he's got a tattered collared shirt on, or the ends of his collars are turned up and it looks bad, you need to convince him that not only should he want to have a better looking shirt, he needs a shirt. And your job is to fulfill that need. And as you fulfill that need, let him know that you're giving a service to him. That service is you are helping him to look better, more successful, so he can be as successful as you are.
Wow. So let's see if we can recap a little bit. That was a lot, and I really appreciate listening to it myself. But first and foremost is to look successful. Number one, look successful.
Exactly.
Number two, know your product.
True.
Believe in yourself. Claim success, and know who your customers are.
Absolutely. Well stated.
Okay.
Much shorter than I stated.
No.
In addition to that, I'd also say, learn to ask. There was another thing I learned in the seminar not long ago. You cannot ask a person to buy your product too many times. Most people say no on the first time. A non-persistent salesperson will say, okay, he said no. You ask him again and again and again. You will know when no really means no. The first or second time, he may be saying no because he's getting ready to say yes.
Wow.
Give him the opportunity for you to get tired of him saying no. Most people do not say yes on the first time. I've been out buying a car, saw exactly what I wanted, and said, I'm going to look around for a while. That's no. Remember, when you are asking a person to purchase something, usually there are only two things they can say: yes or no. And guess what? Most statistical analyzers of sales approaches say 1 out of every 10 people are going to say yes.
Wow.
Count a no as one of the 9 that got you to the yes. Don't stop until you get to 10. The more 10s you do a day, the more sales you will have. If you're selling a product with a profit of $500 and you approach 50 people a day, your chances of selling 5 of those, your chances of making $2,500 a day are with you. If you listen to the 5 that say no and go to the pity corner and get a cup of coffee and say, I just don't think I can do this. 5 people told me no. Remember, you forgot about the other 4 that were going to say no to get you to number 10 that's going to say yes.
And that's so important, and that just goes back to something you said earlier, to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, know your product, and just go for it. So other than selling, what are some of the other experiences that you can share with us?
Well, the second reason I found that a lot of small businesses fail is they don't have a plan. Many people say people do not fail in business. They fail to plan. So going into business, I recommend, now that we have technology, go online and find a template for a good business plan. Sit down, take your time, write a good, strong business plan. If there are steps in there that you don't understand, take a business course or get with a person who's already put together and develop a business plan and develop a plan. The same as if you bought a brand new car today and decided I'm going to take a vacation, you could very easily fill it up with gas, put your fried chicken in your basket, hop in your car. Without a plan or a map, you could end up going up and down 95.
Yeah.
But if you have a plan that says, my first big vacation is going to drive from Chicago to L.A., you head for Route 66, or whatever one it is. I never drove there, but in the old days, when you went west, you took Route 66. If you have a map that will guide you, you can very easily navigate from here to L.A. But if you do not have a map that will guide you, you just may get to Gary and keep riding around in circles. So I recommend first, study a business plan, put together a strong, tight business plan to get started. That will alleviate the problems of wondering. For example, many new business people never identify the population that they're going to approach. If you have a business open and you are selling, say, jewelry, and you have not identified an income group that wears jewelry and that can afford jewelry, you just have a fabulous business, a great idea, and no customers. And again, without the sales and without a business plan, it's a plan for failure. So business plan 1, and then after you put the business plan together, try to associate yourself with a mentor or someone in the business. Talk to them about your plan. Ask questions about their successes and failures. Most people in business who have been highly successful, like me, they're happy when they have some time to sit down and tell you the pitfalls in the business, what to look for, what not to do, what to do, and then you're ready to get moving on your own business plan and a plan to be successful. Secondly, I'd say with a business plan and a sales plan for your product, research your product. There's nothing any worse than going into a business and finding out you got a competitor 2 blocks from you that's selling your product 50% cheaper than you selling. That is also a business plan for failure because your competition will eat you up. So when I say research your product, That means go online. That means look at every business that you can that's selling the product you have. Go take a look at it, buy it if necessary, and see if you have a product that can compete in the market, that makes sense, and that you can too make money on. And it's always good to try to find out what's unique about your product that the other products don't have. Because the competition in most areas of business is so great, if you do not have that unique niche, you still may have a problem succeeding in business.
And I've read that lack of not having a business plan is a setup for failure.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I do know just from establishing my own business, when you focus and take the time to work and establish a business plan, it really gives you the opportunity to think about what it is that you want to accomplish. Like, what is the vision that you have for your plan? What are the goals that you have for your plan? And it's to your point, it's a roadmap. You know, it's a roadmap. So you're not out spinning your wheels. It's a roadmap for you to jumpstart and to be successful.
Also, two or three qualities that I always say to new business people and old is to circulate. You and I have talked about it. Circulate. Get out there. There is nobody in the world that can sell your business better than you. You know your business. You put it together. You founded it. You believe in it. And guess what? Only you know about it. And that's great, but it's not going to help your success at all. Find every avenue you can. Some places go and just say to yourself, I know nobody in here knows or cares about my business. You will also always bump into somebody that you can follow through with, you can get information from, and that may be a potential customer. Because most small business people do not have enough money to hire a marketing and a PR company to get the word out on their business. You are the director of marketing. You are the director of PR. Have your cards ready, and most of all, have a 45-second elevator speech. If you notice, every ad that comes on TV is 30 seconds. They sell billions of dollars worth of cars and food all in 30 seconds. If a person can come on TV and sell you a $100,000 Mercedes in 30 seconds, you can surely put together a 45-second presentation for your business. Not more than 45 seconds. Most people do not want to listen to you more than 45 seconds. Have that spiel, have that business card, keep that look of success. Always leave your home and your business as if you're going to try to sell the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. You want to look like a million, you want to act like a million, and that's the way you could move into selling millions of dollars.
You've talked about, you've shared some very valuable information with us. And you talked about getting a mentor or someone that's in the business. What can you say to someone that's starting a business but get discouraged sometimes? So what can you say to an individual to keep them motivated, or what should they do to stay motivated so that they don't get discouraged?
I say that circulating and getting a mentor that's had experiences, most people who have succeeded in business have failed in something. Many of my friends who now have businesses that gross more than $1 million lost in their first, a second, or third business. They will tell you about pity parties. They will tell you how to avoid a pity party. They will tell you that you have everything you need to be successful. They will tell you that the cup is never half empty, it's always half full, because they've been through those experiences. And they have numerous experiences that can help you. You also need to meditate on success.
Right.
You need to put signs up around your house and your car to remind yourself that you are going to be successful.
So within our last minute, as we wrap up, if you could leave our viewers with one thing of everything that you just said for them to take with them and use it and be mindful every single day, what would that one thing be?
The one thing I would want to leave with every one of you is to research and develop your best sales pitch that you can and plan to selling your product. because without sales, no business will succeed.
And the one thing that I would add is to believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. Thank you so much, Cuttie Bacon,
Thank
for
you.
spending time with us. It's been great being here with you this evening. And again, my name is Eva Kennedy. This has been Cuttie Bacon. We appreciate it, and we'll see you back here same time next week. Thank you.
Thank you.